Hello everyone, welcome back to the Card Man's Cards. I am the Card Man, and today we're going to be going over a recent structure deck, Fire King. They recently got a structure deck, I think about a month or so ago. I don't remember the exact date. But it's been really good. You can play it a good handful of ways. This happens to be the Tri-Brigade variant. I'm not sure what the Tri-Brigade monsters are. They're a group of monsters among three types. That wasn't obvious by Tri-Brigade. But I was playing more as we go through it. They got a bunch of new monsters, mainly just new overall better versions of older monsters, and some other new ones like Ponix I have here. This is their extra deck monster they just got as well. I'll go over that here in a little bit. So let's get started with the main deck. I will explain things as we go. First up, we have 3 Ponix. Ponix is your main normal summon. Definitely would say he's the best normal summon, or second best, depending on what you do. He mainly is your main searcher of your Fire King spell and traps. Other than that, he does other things, which we'll get to in a little bit. He also has a destruction effect. Whenever he's destroyed during the next standby phase after that, you can add him back to the hand, which is helpful because most of the Fire King monsters destroy other Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beasts to activate their effects. Like the next card, which is 2 Sacred Fire King Garunix. This is a new Garunix. There is an older one. It's not any good. Well, it was okay. Now this is better. But Garunix, you can, whenever original monster fire is destroyed, you can summon it. And if you do, you can destroy another Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast from your hand, field, or deck. And if you do, it gains half the original monster's attack. So it's very good for extension. His summon effect can also apply to the grave, but he has to be in the grave to see it for it to resolve. Other one can be anywhere as long as destruction goes through. You will be fine. But he doesn't destroy himself, but Kieran does. Kieran, Fire King, High Avatar Kieran. Kieran is a fire. I think they're both 8s. Yeah, that and Grunix are both 8s. He's a beast, the other ones are winged beasts. Well, yeah, Grunix and Ponix are both winged beasts. But he allows you during the main phase to destroy another fire monster in the hand or face up in the field and summon him for free, which is good. But in addition to that, he has a destruction effect. Whenever he's destroyed, you can summon back a Fire King monster and then destroy one other card on the field. So very good for destroying problematic cards or other things your opponent needs to felicitate, I can't say it, to basically make their board work. Then we move to a one of. This is Fire King Avatar Barong. This is one of the ones you're going to be destroying off of Garunix a lot. Because whenever he's destroyed during the next standby phase, you can add a Fire King card to your hand. So you normally want to search something off of the Barong after he is destroyed. He also has a regular effect. If a Fire King monster is destroyed by battle or card effects that bring the damage that you summon from your hand. So he has a hand effect too. I don't really use it all that much, but he's a good searcher. There's other cards that get him back frequently, so you get his search effect multiple times. So you don't need to run more than one of them. 2 Fire King are Arvata, Avatar Arvata. His name can be a little hard to enunciate sometimes. He is your main secondary blow-up target after Barong. He's also a monster effect negate, which is good. So if you open one, not necessarily a bad card to open, because he has an effect on monster effects on the field that activates. Quick effect. If you negate the activation, you do destroy one other fire monster. Can't be himself, but it's one other monster. But most of the monsters have destruction effects, so it is helpful. But whenever he is destroyed, you can summon one Fire King monster from the grave to the field, negate its effects, and if you do, destroy it on the end phase, which is very good to summon back your Barong to get an additional search after he's already been destroyed. That is all the Fire King monsters. You can run, I forget the name top of my head. It's similar effect to Arvada, but instead of monster, it's a spell and trap negate. I don't run it necessarily. Most people run it inside. I just don't feel the need for it. Never really had matches where it would have come in handy. But you can. I definitely would say it's a good option to run, or a good side deck option. Other than that, most Fire King monsters, there are some other Fire King spells that recently got added. I don't necessarily find the need to use them. There are some good ones, not so good ones. Most of the Fire King spells and stuff that I use are probably the best ones you're going to be using anyways. Maybe there's some exceptions. If there is, let me know what yins guys use in the comments, and I will possibly try them and see how they go. As I said earlier, this is the Tri-Brigade variant, so I am running, I do believe it's like 7 Tri-Brigade monsters and then the 1 trap. This is Fractal. This is your main starter. Not sure how the Tri-Brigades work. They basically cycle themselves into the grave to felicitate additional links and other things. Fractal is a level 4 Beast Warrior. He has an effect where you can discard itself from the hand to send another Tri-Brigade monster. Most Tri-Brigades also have an effect on the field. You can banish Beast Warrior up to the link rating of a Beast Warrior or Winged Beast monster from the extra deck and special summon it. It is considered a link summon. No, it's not considered a link summon. But yeah, it allows you to get more link monsters out and help you use their cards, as they have a few extra deck monsters that help you with overall extension and combos in the deck. And the card you typically send off of Fractal is I'm running 2 Kit, but this is the one that you normally send off of Fractal, because Kit has an effect whenever it's sent to grave, you can send another Tri-Brigade monster from deck to grave. Has the same effect as Fractal, which most of them do. You can banish Beast Warriors up to the link rating of a Beast Warrior monster, and then special summon it. Then after Kit, it's 1 Nerval. He is a Winged Beast. Nerval has an effect whenever he's sent to grave, you can add 1 Tri-Brigade monster from deck to hand. In addition, has the same effect where you can banish Beast Warrior, Winged Beasts up to the link rating of a Beast Warrior, Winged Beast link monster, and special summon it. And then the other one of which is Tri-Brigade Kuros, which he doesn't have a graveyard effect like the others, but he has an inherent summon effect, which you can discard a Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast, and summon himself from the hand for free. It allows you to mitigate your normal summon for the turn, allow you to use him without having to worry about getting into your normal summon without summoning your Ponix, or any other normal summon you would have. He allows you to basically save your normal summon for other plays. There's many turns where I've done things without normal summoning at all. You can normal summon if you want, but there's a lot of times where you'd rather pitch for his effect due to getting that other name in the grave for their shared effect of banishing Beast Warrior, Winged Beast from the graveyard to equal to the link rating of a Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast link monster to summon it. That is the Tri-Brigade monsters. We're going to move on to the spells in this case. I'm actually just going to move these monsters out of the road so they're a little bit easier to do stuff. If you guys have any more questions or want to know how things specifically work, there will be a combo video coming out either the day or two after this one. Not 100% sure, trying to solidify my schedule of uploading. I basically get 2 videos per deck. One of just the overall deck, not the other word, deck profile, information about what the cards do, and the one showing about how they function and how they work together. That's all the main deck monsters. There are other monsters, but mainly hand traps. We're going to move on to the spells. Okay, we're on 3 Fire King Sanctuary. This is the main card. You're going to be searching off of Ponix. If you didn't hear me, I said Ponix searches a Fire King spell or trap, and this is the one you normally add because it has the effect to place your main field spell, which being Fire King Island. In addition to that, it has a protection effect. If Fire King Island will be destroyed by card effect. You can destroy one other fire monster from your hand or field, I believe. Does it also be grave? From your hand or face up field. Also, once per turn, when your opponent special summons a monster, you can quick Ixie summon on their turn, which is great because they got the new Ixie, which happens to be a rank 8, which is a really good on summon effect. I'll be going over more here shortly. It's just for the listed. I gotta stop using that word. I can't say it. Helps your plays go further and farther faster. Because it gets a guaranteed field spell. Here is Fire King Island, which is a 2 of. You can run 3. I don't know why you need to. Sanctuary places it for you. Ponix can search it. There's many ways to get to this field spell. I don't necessarily need the find 2. If you want to run 3rd, you can. I definitely say if you're running 3 of the island, maybe run less Sanctuary, possibly. I don't know. It's just, I don't understand why you would run a 3rd island. You can if you're so inclined. But a Fire King Island, it has an effect. If you just face up, if this face up card is on the field zone, send it to the graveyard, or banish, destroy other monsters you control. It does stink that it destroys other monsters, but most of your Fire King monsters have graveyard effects that activate when they're blown up. So this technically is bad, but good at the same time because it can trigger things for you. It sucks when you have monsters that don't do anything, like if you just have Garunix or other things like that that don't do anything when they're destroyed. But its main reason you use it is its effect. You can, during the main phase, you can destroy one other monster in your hand or field, and if you do, add one Fire King monster from your deck to the hand. So you normally add Ponix. Ponix will add the Sanctuary, placing this, and then pop the Ponix for this to add Garunix. And there's your typical standard combo. There are other ones. And as a second effect, which you really don't use much, if you control no monsters, you just want one Fire Wing Beast monster from the hand. So it's a guaranteed summon of a Garunix or other Fire Wing Beast monsters you want to run. I definitely could see running this in certain decks, but other than that, Fire King is mainly the one that you want to use it in. Next up is a one of. It is just Fire King Skyburn. I can definitely see setting a second copy if you want more removal. It's a very good removal card, especially how easily this board can summon 4 or 5 monsters in a turn. It's a quick play, so you can use it on your opponent's turn, which is very helpful. You can target equal numbers of Fire King monsters you control and cards your opponent controls, destroy them. And then it has a banish effect. If a Fire King card you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only activate one Fire King Skyburn effect per turn, and only once that turn. So you get one of the effects, and only once that turn. So you either banish it, or do the destruction effect. It's very good at popping your additional summons of like your Arvada, Ponix, things of that nature to continue to progress your board state. I will say this kinda is better your second or third turn due to the fact that you can get rid of your opponent's cards. I will say this deck has a little bit of a grinding issue. It wants to wrap games up very quickly because it has a hard time continuously going through their deck because you run through a lot of your engine very quickly. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's decks that do that all the time. Now we run, that is all. I do believe there is, I think that's all the Fire King spells. Yeah, I do believe. Next we're going to, Fire King, I should mention that because this is Fire Formation. This is technically a Fire Fist / Fire Formation card. Not necessarily for Fire Kings, but it is a continuous spell. This is Fire Formation Tenki, a very well-known spell because of what it does. When it's activated, you can add a level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster from deck to hand. So this is very common to run with the Tri-Brigade engine due to the fact that you can add Fractal straight from the deck, which is very good because it's basically replacing a name for another name. And then all their Beast Warriors on you control gain 100 attack. You can activate 1 Fire Formation Tenki per turn. So this is basically just a searcher. If it was a normal spell, that would have been fine too. Doesn't really matter. It's just an overall good spell to get your Beast Warriors out of deck. Barong is also a Beast Warrior. If you wanted to search that, you can. I'm not sure what other ones are Beast Warriors in the Fire King archetype. I think the spell negate one is also Beast Warrior. I could be wrong on that one. I'm not 100% sure. But it just searches your Beast Warriors, which is good. I run 1-for-1. Most decks don't. I understand why. But the reason I run 1-for-1, say you open a bad hand, you happen to have 1-for-1. You can pitch a Tri-Brigade name, and their effect still activates because they're being sent to the grave, while also getting your Ponix for free. So this basically allows you to activate your Tri-Brigade monster's effects, while also using the effect to getting Ponix on the field. So it helps you facilitate your searching and your plays. Granted, it sometimes can be a little janky. I could definitely see this being replaced for more hand traps, or if you want to run the Spell and Trap, I think it's a negate. I could be wrong. But the Spell and Trap Fire King monster instead of the 1-for-1, I could definitely see that. I personally don't. One Called by the Grave, again, this card is amazing. People who don't run Called by the Grave, if their deck can't allow it, I don't understand why they don't. It's just so good to get rid of things, especially right now, because there's a bunch of people playing Fire Kings, so mirror matches are plenty, and I will say this mirror match is god-awful, because it's basically who can pop Kieran first. But the mirror match is wonderful if you can see this, just because you can banish their Ponix or their Barong, and they can't basically play, which is hilarious, because, granted, it also shuts you off, which kind of stinks, but if you're going second, it doesn't matter. But yeah, Called by the Grave, skirts around hand traps or any graveyard effects that activate. Very good, very utility. Definitely would recommend running this in whatever deck you can. I don't understand why you wouldn't run it, but it's a very good card. We're going to move on to the traps, so I'm going to grab the spells real quick. Skyburn, Fire King Island, Sanctuary, all that fun jazz. Alright. And then we're going to move on to the traps. There's only a handful. I also have hand traps in here. I know they're necessarily not traps, but I have Imperm back here, so why not? First up, we have a one-of. This is Tri-Brigade Revolt. If you know about Tri-Brigade, you know about the trap. They have other spells too, but you just normally don't run it if you're just running the engine, not necessarily the deck itself. Tri-Brigade Revolt, its effect, you can special summon a special number of Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast monsters that have been banished or in the graveyard, but negate their effects, and then immediately after the effect resolves, link summon one Tri-Brigade Link monster using only those monsters. You can only activate one Tri-Brigade Revolt per turn. There is a Tri-Brigade Link monster that allows you to search for a Tri-Brigade spell or trap, and you're going to add Revolt, of course, because Revolt allows you to summon another monster for more interaction or interruption on your opponent's turn, being Tri-Brigade Shureg. I will explain more when we get to him. But yeah, typical Tri-Brigade package card. One Revolt, normal. You can run a second if you're so inclined, if you want to see one and also search one. There are some other cards you could run, like Tri-Brigade Roar or things of that nature. I don't necessarily find them useful in this build, but if you want to try it, you can. Next, we have... these are all hand traps now, so I'm going to go kind of breeze over these pretty quickly, because most hand traps are known. I will explain them, though, so just not in great detail, I should say. 3 Infinite Permanents. It's basically Valor. It's a literal hand trap. You control no cards or monsters, right? I forget how this thing's always worded. Control no cards, you can use this for free from the hand, but if it's set when you activate it, the spell and trap zone that it's across from is automatically negated, so anything in that column cannot activate or would not activate. For example, say my opponent activates a continuous spell and I imperm something, and this imperms the same column as that spell, it would not activate. That is one of the bonuses for Imperm over Valor. But granted, Imperm, Valor is always alive, as Imperm can not have its free activation. Next up is Droll. I have a love-hate relationship with this card. If you saw my last chunk of videos of being Destina, I do believe that was the last one. I'm mainly playing this just because it came in the structure deck. It's a very good card, especially right now. But my issue with this person in Bird is I never see it when I need it, and I never need it when I see it. So my opponent can have a dead hand, and I open this thing and it's just a dead card because it's never going to be used, or I'm playing decks that don't lose to draw. So there's many times where I end up siding at least one or two of this out in game 2 during the match. But it's a good card. If your luck's better than mine, I definitely would say, yeah, play Droll. It's very good, but man, I cannot get it when I need it. Next up is Ash. Ash is a very good card. Not a good card. Basically, anytime your opponent adds a card from deck to hand, send to grave. And what's the other one? Summon from deck. Haha. That's the other one. It's summon from deck. Just negates another hand trap. It's one of the ghost girls, if you know what those are. They're all zombies, except for one. And then one random DD Crow. DD Crow is mainly an additional search. You can technically run any other hand trap in this. You can run any other card for this, basically. But the Sure Egg, the Tri-Brigade Sure Egg, whenever he leaves the field, he can search Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monsters, level equal to the number of banished monsters. And even if it's just one, this is a guaranteed additional hand trap. So you can easily, continuously search out your DD Crow, which is more interruption or interaction with your opponent's board. There are matchups where I can see setting this out if your opponent's doesn't activate anything in the grave, or is banishing their monsters anyways. But other than that, that is the main deck. We're going to move to the extra deck real quick. A lot of the extra deck is just Tri-Brigade monsters, and most of it is not used. There are a few, however. Salamangreat Almirage. This is mainly for your links from the low-level Tri-Brigade monsters of being Kit and Nerval. It has an effect. You can quick effect tribute this card. Target one monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by card effects until the end of the turn. So it's a good protection card. Not necessarily needed for the deck to play, but helpful with the Tri-Brigade engine to get those monsters off the field. Then you run one Scareclaw Lightheart, mainly just because it's a Beast Warrior and it's an easy link to make. Because you can just banish one mon and you get a guaranteed link 2 off of that, which is very helpful. And then here's the actual Tri-Brigade names. I think over his effect. You really don't need it for this, but I'll tell you anyways, just because. If this links someone, you can add the Scareclaw Field Spell, Reichphobia, and then if you control Visa Starfrost, you can summon this back for free. Again, necessarily not needed for the deck, but helpful to know, I guess. Tri-Brigade, Fairjeet, Baron Blossom, Link 2. You can special summon a lower level Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast with Fairjeet. Allows you to get summon your Ponix for free. In addition to Fairjeet, it has a graveyard effect. Whenever it's sent to grave, you can draw one card and then place one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. So very good for hand recycling and getting more monsters on the field. Another link to this is Bearbrum. Bearbrum is your searcher. This has a graveyard effect. Whenever you send the grave, you can add one Tri-Brigade spell or trap. And if you do, place one card on the bottom. It has an additional effect. You can discard 2 cards and target one of your banished lower level 4 Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monsters. Special summon it, and if you do this, I lost my train of thought. It also has, you cannot link summon other than Tri-Brigade types, except for Tri-Brigade monsters. You're normally done linking after you use this, so it's not necessarily a worrisome, because your main card you go into after this is your last link. And we have one Phoenix, just to pop spells and traps. Good generic level link 2. If it's linked to someone, you can discard one card, then target one spell and trap your opponent controls, destroy it. And if this card was code-linked, when this effect was activated, you can draw one card. You can only use each effect of Fight Nightmare Phoenix per turn, and you cannot. And code-linked monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. That's never really come up, but yeah, it's a good card to blow stuff up. And then Nightmare Unicorn, the other card most people will consider in the Nightmare engine or package, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's basically the same idea, link 3 instead of link 2. Instead of destroying spells and traps, this spins stuff back to deck. Same thing, discard one. And then we have, I don't know how to say this name. So I'm just going to refer to it as Doom Eagle because I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to try. I can try, but it's going to be hysterical. I might try at the end or in the next in the combo video. This is mainly just a tech card. You can play this. You don't have to. This is mainly just an additional monster to summon. Say your opponent runs a lot of graveyard effects and you don't want them to activate them a lot. This is helpful, especially if you see Tri Brigade names after you mainly use their combo. Because he's a Wing Beast and Link 3, so it's not hard to activate or get on the field. But he has a quick effect. Once per turn, quick effect. You can target one monster in your opponent's grave, shuffle it into the deck. You can only use each effect of Doom Eagle once per turn. And if your opponent has no monsters in their grave, he gains another 2400 attack, which is good because then he goes to 48. Pretty big bird, pretty useful bird. I can definitely see where you would rather use other things. And then we have another Tri Brigade card, Rugal the Silver Shelled, Sheller, whatever, I don't know how. Beast Warrior, Link 3, another cards you can go into, not used very much. You can technically, I would say, drop this if you really felt like it. It just allows you to get your monsters back, because during the opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can summon level 4 Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast monsters from your hand or grave, but negate the effects. Also return it to the hand during the end phase. If this card is sent to the grave, if you make all monsters your opponent controls currently lose 300 attack for each monster type you control until the end of the turn. You can only use each effect of Tri Brigade Rugal once per turn. It's a good Link 3 for the Tri Brigade engine. I would recommend at least running a 1 of. You don't have to, but it's a good idea. Allows you to get your monsters back. One, Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. Most people think Appaloosa is the lady. No, it's the legit bow. The lady is just some lady. I don't know what her name is. Link 4, generic monster effect, negate monster. She gains 800 attack per Link material used. So you normally end up making at least a Link 3 or Link 4. 4/3 material Appaloosa. And she gains, to activate her effect, you pay 800 attack points off of her to negate a monster once per chain. So, good interruption card. If it's a bit shiny, I'm sorry, I only have the one in gold. Good interruption, very helpful, easy to make. And then we have 2 Tri Brigade Shureg, the Ominous Omen. This is the other Link 4 you typically go into. You kind of have to run 2 in this. I could say maybe even 3, depending on how you want to play. Because you typically, in certain combos, you make one just to search your Ponix, and the other one is your summon off of Revolt. So if you want to run it, use it more than at least once, or get another copy out after the Revolt copy. I definitely would run a third. You can easily change Doom Eagle to a 3rd Shureg, no problem. But his effect is whenever he's summoned, or a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast is summoned, it's a non-target banish, which is really helpful, especially on your opponent's turn when they're summoning a bunch of monsters that you don't want. Say that you're playing Sprite and your opponent summons Sprite Blue, and then they summon Carrot, you can easily get rid of one of the monsters and they can't make a Link play, or an overlay, which is really helpful. He also has a graveyard effect. Whenever he is sent to grave, he can search any Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster that's lower level or equal to the number of banished cards you have. So you can only use each effect of Shureg, the Ominous Omen, once per turn. And then we go into Boral Sword, just another big rank 4 monster. Boral Sword's mainly just a big beater. You can replace this with anything. A better recommendation would probably be Double Dragon Lords instead of this guy. I just don't own Double Dragon Lords, and he's kind of expensive. But he can't be destroyed by battle once per turn. Quick effect, you can target an attack position monster, change its defense, and this card can attack again. Opponent can activate cards or effects in response to activated effects once per turn. When this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can activate this effect until the end of the turn. This card gains attack equal to half the monster's current attack. If it does, the monster's current attack is half. So it allows you to get over bigger monsters, mainly just a big monster killer. And this is a very, very odd choice for this deck, but I run it just mainly as additional way to get rid of Shureg. Because if the only way you have is to get Shureg and you need some way to continue your play, this is how you do it. Because you link Shureg into Zealantis, because Zealantis only requires one material due to its effect, its requirements, one effect monster, and it's link 4, so you basically link 4 for link 4. It has an effect on the field, which doesn't really matter. It does sometimes, but you don't really need it for that. It's mainly just to prog your Shureg, because you can just link Shureg for this guy. And then Shureg can add Ponix or whatever you need. So it's good for that. Its on-field effect allows you to banish all face-up monsters and special summon them back. This is better in decks that can use certain lock advantages, like type or attribute. Other than that, it just basically sends your opponent's monsters away for no real reason, or opening up your link extra monster zone again with Zealantis. You could easily change this. You could easily not run this. It's totally up to you. I run it just because I kept seeing a bunch of videos run this guy, mainly for the Shureg link away, to felicitate your additional ad, while also getting him back. And then the last is 2 of the Garunix Eternity. Oh god, how do you pronounce this thing's name? Yang of the Fire Kings? Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. That's probably wrong. But he is at rank 8. You need your Garunix and Kieran to make him Pyro. But whenever he is summoned, he is an on-field board wipe. He destroys all other face-up monsters on the field, which is amazing, because you can blow up your own cards, like your Barong or your Shureg, which gives you more searching, or an ad. He also has a detach effect. You can detach one material and target one spell or trap on the field, destroy it. Other than that, I do believe... Oh, hold on. He also gets 500 attack with that effect. I forgot about that. And if he has a destruction effect as well, if he is destroyed, you can summon up to 2. I think it is up to 2, or is it just 2? I'm going to reach for how this was worded. Up to the number of material he has, depending if you use his detach effect, but you normally have 2 on him, so you get 2 of your Fire King monsters back from the grave. Very good for if your opponent destroys it, you can get your Kieran and Garunix again, and continue to play off of those 2, or Ponix if you need it. Overall, a very consistent deck, a very easy deck to work with. I would definitely say the deck kind of loses against grindier decks, like Runic, stuff like that. Things that can go forever. This deck loses to because it can't necessarily keep its main objective going very long. But other than that, that is the Fire Kings. There are several ways to play it. You can play the Diabellstar engine, which is like $200-300 for all that, and I'm good. Or a lot of ones that I've seen popularity are the Dogmatica ones. Dogmatica engine. I don't necessarily like that one. If you want to use it, go right ahead. I just don't know what the Dogmatica cards do. So, other than that, this has been the Fire King deck profile, or whatever you want to call this thingy. I've been the Card Man. This is the Card Man's cards. I am the Card Man, as you can probably tell. Keep collecting.